most of us really liked about your track, Robert, was the use of the nature sounds and the nice detail, especially in the high frequencies, and generally just a really open sound. It was very pleasing.
Yeah, I enjoyed the kind of the background ambience of it. It was an excellent intro. It was one of my preferred tracks. The money thing, though, I love samples and I love people messing around with vocals and stuff, but it just felt a little childish. You know, money. I don't know. It's just not my thing. Money. I like money, though.
You know, I'm not really interested in telling people what kind of music they should make. I mean, whatever inspires them is going to pull out the best results. But if we're talking about the evolution of the electronic music scene, I'm personally in favor of like promoting things that transcend monetary matters. Although it is nice to make some money. Being an artist, I prefer the content and intention to kind of transcend above focusing on that.
Where are you planning to take this track? My worry is that you have the high metallic sound that you're kind of using with the role of a snare. If I hear that for the entire length of a track, I would find it a little bit annoying.
I'll say it right off the bat. I'm not a huge fan of trap. I don't think it's going to last very much longer. You know, maybe another 6 months and it's going to be something else. I'm pretty impressed with the fact that your computer was down for something like 5 minutes. I got to hear the distortion that was the only thing that was coming out of your DAW. So good job on catching up. I want to see where you take it.
A lot of things I really liked about this. The groove was excellent. And the edits of the small beats, the little syncopations, really interesting, especially the way they slowly grew through the section. I can see that growing into a fully developed piece. I really thought that was strong.
I like where it's going. I like the high percussive flow elements that you used the delay on. I didn't find any conflicting elements. I'm just really curious to hear what you're adding next.
The one element that I would pick on is the low-pitched voice. I would take it out or do something else with it. And I'm curious to see how it's going to become electronic music. Obviously, it is electronic, but it has a very heavy hip-hop feel. And I want to see how the electronic elements come in and blend in.
Nuances were satisfying. There's a difference between danceable music and choreographable music. Choreographable music has nuance that you can hear different times in different parts of the day. In your mindset, you hear different sounds, and danceable music is just like, that was appreciative to me. And I think we're all kind of in agreement about the vocals in general need to be worked on.
I think it's strong and defined. I like all the elements that you use, you know, with agreeing on kind of the vocal thing. But aside from that, I think matching the levels so that the finer elements can be heard and the more defined elements aren't too much. Great job.
So I really liked the rhythmic elements. The samples were well cut and nicely punchy. Otherwise, catchy. It's already stuck in my head.
I agree with Robert about the vocal samples. The piano notes are cool as long as this is an intro, but I would not like to hear them for very long.
I would personally just probably lose that vocal. I don't know if you have another take or something, but there's something catchy about it because it was stuck in my head. So and that's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah. The vocals, although you've done interesting things with them, are slightly presumptuous and catchy, but not like I want to be caught in my head.
Maybe change the lyrics.
Maybe change the lyrics. And for me, honestly, the piano strikes were just like I'm watching a horror movie. I mean, like Attack of the Killer EDM musician or something. I don't know.
Which could work later on.
Yeah, if that's what you're trying to go for.
Well, without reiterating what everyone else has said, what I did really like and appreciate about your piece was the use of filtering and effects. Regardless of the source material, I liked hearing use of a more bass sample, having a melodic, out of maybe a not melodic instrument was a nice use. Great job.
So I'd say that from a dance music perspective, this one probably has the most four on the floor usability, groovability. From a recording perspective, I'd like to see a little bit more dynamic range, and it feels a bit smashed. I'd prefer to see the rhythm breathe a little bit more, and if that's going to be the dominant part of the rhythm, I'd hope it doesn't stay so chock-a-block throughout the whole track. But definitely the grooviest of the ones that we heard.
Do you have a plan where you're going to take this next? You don't have a plan. It sounds like you're trying to cover a lot of areas. You have things in the background, you have things in the foreground. You have pretty much every percussive element that I would expect to hear. But I had a feeling that you don't necessarily have a plan for it. So I'm very curious to see where you're taking it next.
Going along the lines of what he's talking about, I hear a potential for some minimal house, and I really like that style of music. I would say it is too smashed.
Instantly, I heard mode selector in what you were creating, because he often starts his songs off with this very compressed beat that's like, and then to this long, kind of deeper, less compressed sound. And for that reason, I enjoy it as a good introduction, and very much the opposite of, is it choreographable or simply danceable? This is simply danceable, and for that, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you have some powerful elements going on. I would say watch your levels, make sure that you're not clipping the output. The compressed sound is cool. I use compression quite a bit, but make sure you're not clipping the output for distortion. Be careful about having elements with a continued delay with a lot of feedback sitting in the back of the mix that actually can take away from the clarity, or just lowering the feedback so that it's more controllable, or even bouncing the elements, and then you can chop them afterwards and keep your sound stage clean and precise. Nice work.
If I had any critiques, it would be relating to the feel of the beat, a little bit lumpy. But overall, I like the sound design.
I like this track so far. Not crazy about the animal-like sound, but my question for you is the same as for everyone else. What is the concept? Do you guys have a concept in mind when you're putting this together, or you're finding sounds literally and putting it into something that sounds cool, not really knowing where it's going to go? It can just die if you don't have a strong concept behind it.
Okay, so I'm going to disagree with him. I actually like the animal sound, quote unquote. I think it could be used a little bit less, and maybe have it, right now it's going on this side, and then another time have it go on the other side. I am very curious to see where it goes.
I wanted more. I wanted to, what's the next 8 counts, just because I can see this, it's a build-up, definitely a build-up, and there's not a whole lot of space in between the sounds, and so that it's I feel like something big's about to happen, and for that, I'm also excited to see where it goes to next. And I don't see it as an animal sound, more like a bag ripping or something, but I enjoy the sound.
I like the piece. I think right from the get-go it has a defined beat that is rhythmically inspiring. So I just wanted to say that I think all of you did a pretty amazing job considering the restraints. I don't even know how I would have done going out and sampling things in the room and putting it together. I honestly don't know if it's possible at that stage to have a clear conception of what this is supposed to be with your nerves and the limitations. So I think you guys did a great job to throw those things in and just start making something that sounds like it resembles music at all. That being said, we felt that after this first round, the strongest entry was the MDR clip, if you will. So congratulations.